Good morning. Welcome. It is that time of day. It is going to be a spectacular show today. It's so interesting what happens in the day. But before I can tell you about the goods, everybody's got to listen to the music. I'll see you in a minute. So I just want to be upfront right now and say that there is a boatload of people that are at the Funnel Hacking Live or FHL, and they're watching the live right now as we speak for FHL. And we have the coffee break show running at the same time. And for some reason, I don't know what happened. But my guest had some emergency come up because he's not here. And I'm looking forward to finding out what happened, but we are going to do the show anyway. And I had a backup plan like I always do. So we are going to take the day and do a little coffee break show here. And we're going to be talking about what's coming up, what I'm doing. And I have this kind of special surprise that I haven't, done ever before in my life. I'm going to be sharing screen with you for this show. Yeah, I don't even know what happened to him. I just know that it's so interesting that when we talk about business and we talk about things that are happening and you do a live show, you don't know what you don't know. And it is brilliant practice to have it blow up in your face during a show while you're on the show, wondering what's happening or where things are going or etc. And so I'm just going to go ahead and start, and I'm going to go ahead and be on the show right now and tell you I am actually doing something that I've never done before, that I've never, thought about doing before. And I want to tell you about what that is because if you're going to do it, you certainly want to be able to have the opportunity to maximize it because I've never done it before and I've never seen it done before. Because I looked, is there somebody else who's done this? What did they do? How did they do it? Well, they didn't actually ever, there isn't this before. Good morning. I'm not sure who this Facebook user is, but thank you for saying good morning and being here. Do me a favor and put your name down below and let me know who is it that is on with us. So today I want to talk about exactly what I'm doing to launch two different books at the same time. I'm literally going to share my screen, which is going to take me a second here, and it's going to be funky for a bit. But then I'm going to show you, I'm going to share a screen. Here we go. We're doing this live right now so that we can see this. And we are going to bring this up right here. And I'm going to be launching this book, which is The Secret Joy of You, Awakening Your Spiritual Gifts and Inner Genius to Live a Life You Love. And I am going to be launching this book, which is How to Go from Six-Figure Coach to a Seven-Figure and Beyond Mentor. It's how to transform lives for a living. And I hope that you can see them both because I can't tell if you're seeing them or not. I'm just hoping that you're seeing them. So they're two different books and two different genres, which honestly, I have never done before. I've never actually taken. It's Lori. Nice to see you. Good morning, my friend. Glad you're here. Let's see. I don't see a link to StreamYard up there or anything. Well, Robin will probably put a link up that you can refresh your link there. But during this time of being able to launch two books, I mean, the first book, everyone knows the first book and everyone has seen the first book as it is coming out. Good morning and happy Wednesday. Thank you for being here. And you guys are like, where's our guest? I don't know. It's the first time, that I've ever been kind of stood up, so to speak. I'm imagining there's some sort of emergency happening this morning, and I'm not going to know till later. But I'm hoping whatever is happening right now, he is safe, and I just don't know what happened. So anyway, what's going to be happening for today is I want to talk about doing the things just like I'm doing right now that you haven't done before, that hasn't been done before, that doesn't seem smart, or maybe does seem smart. You don't know, but you're taking a risk and you're putting yourself out there. For me, it's having two books in different genres. I have a self-development book that's coming out, and this new book that's coming out that I just showed you the cover for. And let me see if I can just pop that up again so that you can see it really close. Let's see. This is it. Stop this right here. It says I'm still sharing. So let's see. I want to make sure I'm sharing to the actual screen. I have to put this up. And now let's go back here and take a look at it. This is the next book that's coming out. It's How to Transform Lives for a Living. And this is, Tracy and I's next book popping up. And I want to be able to get to the point where you look at risk in a different way. Like if you look at risk and you say to yourself, I've got something popping on right here. Hey, I had us for 1029. My apologies. It's funny. He had us for a different day. But I'm not sure what to say about that. Anyway, so what's happening for us is um, when you take those kind of risks, you want to take calculated risks. You want to take risks that are smart. I've never done this before, and I want to really get the concept of what it's like to launch two books at the same time in two different genres for two different, groups of people, or even some of the same people. Those people who love business and love spirituality at the same time. Both books are fantastic and good, but I'm looking at doing something I haven't done before. Now, so when you take those risks, they have a tendency to transform you and they make you a stronger person overall, because then you understand how to take a risk. You understand how to take a risk that's beneficial to you. So for instance, if you decide this year, because the new year's coming up and everybody's like, okay, this is the year I'm going to make my business, this is the year I'm going to write my book, this is the year I'm going to lose that weight, this is the year I'm gonna great. Well, if you want to actually achieve those goals, you have to understand what kind of risk you're taking. So for me, when I evaluate a risk and I say, okay, maybe I want to knock out a book or something, or I want something about my life to change, I have to put in place the structures of how to make those things change, how to make those steps, how to make those steps relevant to creating the transformation that I'm actually trying to create. So that means I have to do a couple of things differently. So, for instance, perhaps you are saying to yourself, I don't want to eat so much sugar. So you take all the sugary sweets out of your house, like the cookies or the carbohydrates or whatever it is, you remove them out of your house, because that one tiny thing means that when it's time to go ahead and make a change, and you're thinking, oh man, I really want that toast and jam, or I really want that cookie, or I really want that whatever, you have to make a different decision, because you've put in place that there's no other option for you but to make that different decision. So if you want to write a book and you're thinking, okay, this year I'm going to write that book and it's, going to be my art or whatever it is, you want to make yourself absolutely certain that you're going to be able to make that change. For me, what I would do is I hired a book coach. That's what I did, because it leaves you accountable. And the gap between transformation and failure is having something there that is holds you accountable. So that accountability piece is part of the transformation process. That's just, there's no other way around it. That accountability piece is always going to be part of the transformation. And when you get the transformation pieces in order, suddenly the accountability becomes easy and the transformation happens so much easier. And what happens when you feel resistance? Like you're driving along, or let's say you're bike riding because you want more exercise, or you're walking and you just happen to be walking past a, McDonald's or Dairy Queen or something. And how can you keep walking past without making that, turn into where the thing you're trying to avoid, the thing that you're trying to transform? You do that very simply by, like, don't take your purse with you, or don't do something. Hold yourself accountable. And when you put accountability in there, people say, well, how do you hold yourself accountable? Or I'm accountable. What does that mean to be accountable? It means you have a system in place that keeps you on track. So I hired a book coach when I wanted to write my book. I don't need him now. I had one, a really great one. If you guys ever need a book coach, look up Lisa Tenner, Tener, Lisa Tenner. That was my book coach. And now, 41 books later, I don't need a coach. I've actually mastered how to do it. So, what happens when you take a calculated risk? A calculated risk means you take a piece of something that you want to transform, and you know that it's going to be a little tougher to transform than something else. What's the risk? What's the actual risk? Well, I'll tell you the biggest risk. The risk is most people will quit. Most people will stop. Most people won't follow through on what they want to do unless they have a bridge builder between where they are and where they want to be. And those bridge builders come in the form of, you know, um, uh, programs and accountability people that are there. Now, accountability buddies, they're okay. Yes, she is. Thank you. Hashtag Lisa Tenner was a great book coach. She really was. I don't know what I would do without her. She was great. Yes. Good morning, Mr. Ambassador. Nice to see you on today. Thank you for being here. Lori, thank you for being here. It's very interesting when the fly is on, TV with you while you're, talking out to everyone. So that's how live TV is, though, isn't it? We can't just go back and edit this and remove the fly and the movement of my hand. We absolutely just stay with what's here now. So that's the beauty of why I like live TV, because you have to actually show up. So that's another risk right there. The risk, the risk is that, can you see that fly? Really? This is a weird day. The risk that you have, that you take on, that's going to transform you, requires that you have accountability. I'm not sure who this is, but I love you too. Thank you. Hi, Vicky. Thank you. Working over here, I'm generally one of the most non-follow throughers. I have good intentions, but life and other work tends to get in the way a lot. This is it. This is the thing why transformation doesn't happen, because we don't create a space for that to happen. So I want to let you know, the first book I wrote, I didn't know how to spell, didn't you guys know? I didn't know how to use Word. I didn't know how to do anything. And so what ended up happening for me is that I actually had to get to the point where I put in place those things and those times and those those moments where I said, I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be doing this. Like, I schedule anything that wants to actually get done on the calendar, on my calendar. And then I follow through with that. Follow through, follow through, follow through, follow through, follow through. And that follow through is how transformation happens. The risk, when people say there's a risk in this, yes, the number one risk is that you are going to quit, that you're going to stop, that you're going to get distracted. And Lori, I want to thank you for this, because most people will not admit, most people will not admit that they're generally one of the most non-follow throughers. Thank you for that. Everybody has non-follow through things. The ability to become successful surrounds you becoming a high performance achiever. And a high performance achiever is somebody who keeps in front of them their goals. Like, I have my vision board up there because it keeps me grounded into what I want to accomplish. I have my list of things I want to learn how to do. And I divide my day where I get my calendar and I say, from this time to this time, I'm doing this. From this time to this time, I'm doing this. From this time to this time, I'm doing this. And I make it a routine. And over a period of time, you accomplish more. And when you accomplish more, you achieve more and you have more success. But there's something fundamentally that changes in you, Lori, and everybody that's listening. And I really want to get this across. Somebody, if there was a fly swatter, I'd really appreciate it. I need a sip of coffee here. Actually, to be honest, just before I got on this show, I took a sip of coffee and I I breathed it in instead of swallowed it. So I was coughing and choking just before I got on, and I needed a little sip to calm that throat piece down. Uh, oh, the fly is invisible. Thank you very much. Let's see what this says. I saw a close up of the fly. He came up to the camera and said hi. He's jealous now. Let's see. Don, how nice to see you. So great to see you here today. Thank you for being on the show with us today and hanging out and listen. So you just remember CAT, CAT. Tell me more of that. That's not enough, Mr. Ambassador. I need the other half of that. So what's happening now is the year is getting to the point where we're in our final quarter. You want to review what exactly have you accomplished this year and what you want to accomplish. Now, this is the thing. Some of you have such toxic thinking, you're going to sit down and go, well, I didn't accomplish anything this year, or I didn't accomplish what I was supposed to accomplish. Well, I didn't ask you what you didn't accomplish. Talk about what you did accomplish, because once you start accomplishing, that is as addictive. I need you to listen to me. Accomplishing is as addictive as failure. Like, you know how people are self sabotage, blah, blah, blah. Well, everybody has inside them an inner winner, somebody that likes to achieve and win. And I need you to listen to this so much. The more you win, the more you want to win. The more you succeed, the more you want to succeed. The risk is getting you from this one side of the bridge to the other, where you are simply understanding that you are an achiever, not a non follow througher, but you are an achiever. And the first thing you have to be willing to do is you have to be willing to look at where you have achieved and what you've done. Okay, so maybe you're not a non follow througher. I say I'm going to do this and then I don't follow through because these things in life happen. Fine. So then let's take the things in life that happen, and just for a moment, let's knock out what did happen. What did you do in its place? What did you learn? How did you grow? Where are your achievements? And achieving is something where even if you get to the point where you tackle something that's hard, like, oh gosh, I want to learn how to write a book. For me, in the beginning, that was hard. It was not an easy task. But then you write the next one and the next one and the next one and the next one and the next one. And suddenly it becomes easier and easier and easier and easier. What feels fulfilling and transforms is this inner confidence. And it's the inner winner confidence. It's not fake confidence or look at my car and look at my clothes and look at my house. It's a different kind of confidence. It's quiet. It's silent inside, this kind of confidence. It's powerful and it comes out when you need it most, when you're feeling creative or when you're, having a boundary. This kind of quiet confidence will show up and it grows because it understands one thing. It says, I know how to accomplish, full stop, and I will figure it out along the way. Even if you have to go fly by the seat of your pants, you get to the point where your confidence will help you take your goal. And when you stumble upon that objection, or you stumble upon that block, or you stumble upon that, you're like, oh, here's a block. And your confidence won't retreat this time. It'll start asking and saying, how do I get through this? How do I get around this? What's this made of? Is this actually true or is it an illusion? And you'll blow past that object that has been obstructing you just like that. What you have to do is understand that you want to become and are an inner winner. You are that. That's how you got here. That whole point of you thinking that you are not capable or I don't want to do that, that's all a lie. What you don't want to do is feel the intense toxicity of a thought your mind says that's painful. But if you remove that, the more you succeed, the more you want to succeed. The more you learn and master, the more you want to learn and master. There is a part of you that is that inner winner. I mean, that's Michael Jordan. And, if you take a look, any of the football, baseball, golf, tennis, it doesn't matter. The more they win, the more they want to win. And that means the more they want to get on the court and practice and master and master and master. And that's what happens when you suddenly make that transformation. The risk isn't that you can't achieve the goal you want. The risk is that you haven't moved your mindset from the toxic thinker outside to the inner winner inside you. I want to pop over here because you guys are talking a mile a minute. Um, let's see. You said you were having trouble spelling cat. That is, thank you very much, sir. The more coffee you have, the more coffee you want. Yes, I'm going to admit that right there. And, with that more coffee you have, the more coffee you want. Thank you very much, sir. Lori says, okay, yes. Well, sometimes I underestimate myself. You do, my friend, because you are super talented. I do achieve a lot. Yes, you do. You do achieve a lot and continue learning and growing every day. But I have started like at least 4 books that are just sitting there on my hard drive collecting dust. Well, then you time to dust those hard drives off and find yourself somebody who's going to hold you accountable because you do great work when you do it. And you want to find out who's your audience first. Most people get an idea for a book and they, just write the book and want it to sell instantly. You want to find an audience that you're writing to and then write them some books. So I want to go back to creating that chasm where you are walking from one side to the other. And let's see, follow through is the number one issue people have. Thank you. Yes, have in business and professionally, even unprofessionally, even in their just relaxed life. That's the difference between those who are high achievers and those who are the average. And what happens is you have strong intentions. You have good intentions. But here's the thing. We're told so young that we're told bad things. We're told that we're not good enough, smart enough, tall enough, thin enough, fat enough, whatever it is you're told. You're told that you're a bad girl, a bad boy, bad at this or bad at that. And your brain hears, I'm bad, I'm bad, I'm bad, I'm not enough, I'm bad, I'm bad, I'm bad. What it does is bury the inner winner that is actually in you, the actual thing that's there for you to achieve. And a lot of people, they only touch the inner winner when they're motivated by a why. If you know your why, then you have everything. But the truth is, your inner winner is who you are. You are that. There's a point where you don't even need a why, except I want to accomplish this, I want to see this, but you have to get your why first. The reason I do this is because, and here's the full stop. What if the because is because I like learning, because I love succeeding and achieving, because I want to develop as a human being to the best of my abilities to be all that I can be, because I want to experience what it's like to be rich, because I want to experience what it's like to be free, because I want to experience what if it's just simply you accomplishing what you want to do because you want to experience it. That becomes the best reason. The best reason is because that inner winner and that achiever is who you are. It's who and what is built in you, what you're made from, what you're designed to do is win. Let me just tell you, I know some of you are going to laugh, but let me just tell you, the day that you decided to be here on the planet, you had to be the best swimmer out of billions. You had to be the strongest and the best swimmer to get here. You had to be so determined to get to that egg because you wanted to have the experience of getting to this earth. So that meant that somehow that you are the best already out of billions, the best out of billions. Only the best of the best get to the planet. So now that you're here, what do you want to do with that? Well, you get to go ahead and take that bridge and walk across that bridge. What is the thing that makes the bridge to success and winning happen? Accountability. You have to hold yourself accountable. Now, here's the thing. Everybody always says you have to be 100% responsible, you have to be accountable, but what the hell does that mean anyway? What exactly does that mean? Accountability is an ego check. That is the part of you that you're going to have to call yourself out. Like, here's my excuse. Here's my excuse, and I'm going to call myself out on the excuse that I believe. We love to believe our excuses. And when we knock those excuses out of the way, like I remember, okay, my biggest excuse long time ago, I'm embarrassed to say this, but I'm going to just say it anyway. My biggest excuse for not writing before was I had writer's block. And oh my God, I'm experiencing writer's block. So I might as well go outside and go bike riding or do anything else but sit down and write. And then I watched a Gary Vaynerchuk video, and he was like, "You people are full of shit if you think you can, get away with writer's block. Just get in there and write." And I was thinking, okay, if I sit down and force my mind to come on when I say I want it on, and suddenly I've never had writer's block again. I've never, in fact, creativity comes to me so easily that because I'm in command of when my creativity comes on. If I'm sitting down at a dinner table and people are talking, they usually say something, and I'm like, "Ooh, that's a good idea for a book." I'll write it on my phone. This is a good idea for a book. That's the point of being able to command your inner winner and not command your toxic thinking. So, this is the thing that is so important to have today. I follow through this right here. Following through is the number one issue people have in business and life, professionally, everything. Okay, here it is. Every time I hear you say because, I hear my mother saying because I said so. Okay, Robin, follow through till completion. Seems like we get to a hurdle and some we get through while others some seemingly unsurmountable stone wall. Yes, sometime that is, but the truth is here's the stone wall. The stone wall is actually a feeling. That's it. If you look at the stone wall and you are asking, how is it that I'm going to get past this wall? How am I going to get past this obstacle? How is it that I'm going to, you send your mind and your soul and your heart on a little journey. If you say, how is it that I am going to get past this person, get past this objection, get past this, how is it that I'm going to do that? You'll find suddenly that you can get past it, that suddenly that'll happen. So let's hear. Great analogy. Love that Gary Vaynerchuk. Yeah, he doesn't candy coat anything. That's really true. Here it is. We build that stone wall in our mind. Here's the truth. This is the truth right here. That stone wall is in your mind, but so is the answer, isn't it? And the risk that you take when we're taking risks, like, okay, I've never I've never released 2 books before, and a lot of people have already advised me it's probably not a good idea, but I'm going to do it. Even if it's not a good idea, how can I make it a good idea? How can I make it a good proposition? How can I support these 2 pieces of me, which are I love spirituality and I love business? How can I support those 2 things at the same time and see how it, yeah, see what happens? How can I steer it to the conversation? How can I see how it goes? Where's it going to go? Where's it going to take me? What is it that I'm going to be learning about this? Those are all the kinds of things, our guest Fly today. I'm just like, Fly, go away. Somebody should have put a bowl of something he could have sat out. But if you get to the point where you realize that risk can be healthy, not stupid risk, not unkind risk, not hustle and grind risk, but well thought out creative risk is about transformation. And transformation requires accountability and responsibility. Accountability is best when you have somebody else holding you accountable, somebody that matters to you, someone that you don't want to disappoint. You don't want to, "Oh god, I didn't do it." If you care less of them, "Will you hold me accountable?" And they're like, "You didn't get this done. When are you gonna get this done by?" And you flip them off because you don't give a crap about them. Can you see how that's not benefiting you in any way? You wanna get to the point where whomever is in front of you, you don't wanna let them down. They give you that extra spark. They give you that extra umph or intention. That's accountability. If you don't respect your coach or you don't respect it, then you're not in the right place. And so to me, if you want to learn respect, go find a high priced where you have to stretch yourself financially to make that cause and step into that. That's a risk. You either perform or you fail. You want to make sure that you understand that just like there's a toxic thinker in you, everybody's all, you're self sabotaging this and that and the other. Great. Okay, so you can have that and it's in there. But there's also inside you an inner winner. Everyone is born with it. You have this and this. We live in a dualistic world. So if there's hot, there's cold. And that's the thing that is going to be so important for you to understand. How is it that you can get to that point where you are unleashing your inner winner and not your own toxic self sabotage? Everybody is so focused on the cleaning up the beliefs and this and that and the other. Well, what if you just tapped into your inner winner and realized that the more you succeed, the more you want to succeed? The more you win, the more you want to win. The more you love, the more you want love and give love and have love. The more that you do something that feels risky and you keep yourself accountable and authentic in that moment, you will cross the bridge and you will become a high performance achiever over a period of time, including when you do lives with a fly. All right, you guys, that is what I have for you today. And I will definitely get to the point where we have this guy on again sometime. But for right now, it's time to hear the music. I'll see you guys later.